Friday, November 21st, and before we get started, I want to say that all of the research, all the hours, all the time we've spent watching our beloved game that is NFL football, it all comes down to this moment right here. Today, we are going through the highly anticipated Jude Gussie Top 30 Dynasty Rankings. Now, this took a lot of time and a lot of thought. And I would be surprised if I go through this and I don't second guess myself. But I think the lineup that I have now is the right one. And if you use this, I think you can use this to reference and you're going to be in a pretty safe spot. And I think that I'm pretty close to where most of the community probably would be. Now, I tried to do this without, or not tried to, I did this without looking at any other community rankings or anything. But comparing it to Keep Trade Cut post rankings, I'm pretty surprised with how close I was to the community consensus, of course, with some outliers. So let's jump right into it. At number 1, the king of Dynasty Fantasy Football right now, the most valuable player, even though he wasn't that valuable last night, is Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. Once again, what makes this guy so special is he can run and he can pass, and he gets touchdowns. When he's running, he is scoring the ball. He had that 3 touchdown, 3 passing, 3 rushing touchdown performance just a couple weeks ago. Week in, week out, Josh Allen proves that he is one of the most sensational quarterbacks to ever play the game. He's got the arm talent. He's got the ground talent. He's a do-it-all and probably the most untradeable asset, most valuable asset in Dynasty Fantasy Football right now. So that's who I've got at my number 1 spot. Then, switching up positions, we've got Jamar Chase at the number 2. Wide receiver for the Bengals. He's proven he can play with any quarterback, and he's going to produce high numbers. And when Joe Burrow gets back, those numbers are only going to increase. So then right behind him, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs at the 3 spot out of Detroit, just followed by Bijan Robinson. These two are the 1A, 1B, flip a coin, and the other is going to be on ahead of the other on any given day. I love both these guys, but that's just where I have them currently. Now, sliding forward on to the next guy, that's Justin Jefferson, wide receiver out of Minnesota. Similar to Jamar Chase, he's out of LSU just a year earlier. Good buddies. But Justin Jefferson, in the Kevin O'Connell offense, he's always going to have a very good role. Whether it be Carson Wentz throwing the ball, Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, when you put the ball in his hands, great things happen. And it's not going to be that difficult to get him the ball when he's that great at catching it. So that's Justin Jefferson at the 5 spot. Right behind him, we've got also kind of a product of Kevin O'Connell offenses from the same tree, I should say. We've got Puka Nacua of Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams. Puka Nacua is still very young, like all the guys above here mentioned, but he's also just really physically imposing. He's like a running back in a wide receiver's body. He's kind of like Deebo Samuel in that way, but he also has all of the elite skills that make the game's best wide receivers great. So that's Puka Nacua right there at the 6th spot. Then we've got our next quarterback, second quarterback on the list. That's Lamar Jackson out of Baltimore. Similar to Allen, he can do it on the ground. He can do it in the air. He is great at doing both, and that's what makes him so valuable in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Right behind him, at the number 8 spot, we've got a guy who's really climbed up in the rankings and really resurged, and that's Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is proving this year with a competent offensive line, quarterback, and scheme. He is a baller, and if he stays healthy, I think he's going to be hovering right around this top 10 range for the next year or two. So that's Jonathan Taylor at the 8th spot, followed by a guy who's also been playing much better this season. That's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes out of Kansas City, who's been putting up great numbers. I think statistically, this is probably up there with some of his better seasons fantasy-wise. Definitely more passing touchdowns, more passing yards. After some were saying, is he kind of dropping in value? Patrick Mahomes is really reasserting himself as one of the most valuable assets in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Right behind him, we've got Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. Now, the jury was out on Jackson Smith and Jigba for a while. Everybody was calling him a bust, especially with all the hype that he came into the NFL with. He was one of the most hyped wide receivers in recent years. Seattle took a first-round pick. Slow start, of course. He was playing behind both DK and Tyler Lockett. They're both out of town now, and Jackson Smith and Jigba is proving why he was so highly regarded in Dynasty rookie drafts and in Dynasty circles. This is a guy who, if he continues his level of production, could very well climb up the rankings and possibly be flirting with the top 5. So that's Jackson Smith and Jigba at 10 there. Right behind him, another guy who's really been balling out this year, making a name for himself. That's Drake May. Drake May is currently neck and neck with Matthew Stafford in the MVP race, and same thing goes for him. If he keeps up his level of production, he could definitely be climbing up in the rankings. And now number 12, this guy I only have this low simply because of his injury this year, and that is Malik Neighbors of the Giants. Malik Neighbors has been playing absolutely phenomenal throughout his career. Very unfortunate injury that he suffered just when it looked like the Giants were going to be putting all the pieces together with that young core: Cam Scatteraboo, Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, Theo Johnson. But next year he'll be going in with a new head coach, and also a fairly new quarterback. He's still going to be adjusting to playing with Jackson Dart. But Malik Neighbors, phenomenal talent. We all saw what he did as a rookie. I've got him at the 12th spot here. Right behind him, we've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's just a little bit older, not that much older, but he is very, very reliable. He's still young. He's always putting up great numbers. And he's going to get the ball in Detroit. Jared Goff trusts this man with his life, and he is going to get the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Third down, first down, second. It doesn't matter. Dan Campbell wants the ball in this guy's hands, and it's going to happen. Especially when Jared Goff's throwing the ball, it's pretty easy to get it there. So Amon-Ra there at 13. Then we've got our first tight end. Now, I did individual rankings of quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. This is where the man Brock Bowers would slot in. I've got Brock Bowers here. He's a freak. He's kind of like a tight end, but also a wide receiver, but also a run. Like, he can do everything. He's similar to Tyler Warren in that way, but he is just so athletic. He's too fast for the linebackers, but he's too big and strong for the corners. Brock Bowers, absolute mismatch nightmare here at number 14, who's put up some really good numbers through his first 2 seasons. Then, just behind him, we've got another running back. This is going to be our 4th running back on the list. That's Devon Achane out of Miami. There were a lot of questions around Achane. I had a lot of concerns with his injury, his carries, and of course, he also has some good running backs behind him, if you want to consider Wright and then Gordon. So, I had a lot of questions on Achane, but he has really surprised me. He has really proved me wrong this season, and I think he really deserves this spot at 15. He's one of the most explosive backs in the NFL, up there with guys like Bijan and Gibbs and Taylor. Now, right behind him, we've got Joe Burrow of Cincinnati. Now, Joe Burrow, elite passing quarterback, MVP candidate year in, year out. But can he stay on the field? That's the main question. But when he's back on the field, you know that he has no problems. He's going to give you great numbers. He's going to be very reliable. He's not going to turn the ball over much. That's Joe Burrow. And of course, he has 2 elite receivers with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So that's Joe Burrow there at 16. Right behind him, we've got another guy who's kind of dealt with injuries this year. That's Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels had all the hype in the world coming in this offseason. I believe at one point he was even up at the number 1 spot on many community rankings. Little bit of a disappointment this year in the games that he did play, and then he's also been suffering with some unfortunate injuries. That's the only reason only thing that's driving his price down. When guys like Drake May and others are playing so well, they're going up, while Jaden Daniels stays stagnant. That's why we got him here. Then we've got couple wide receivers in a row here. We've got CeeDee Lamb out of Dallas. CeeDee, he's one of the better wide receivers in the league. Just a lot of question marks in that Dallas offense. A little bit inconsistent this year, but still CeeDee Lamb is one of the elite wide receiver talents, and I could see him climbing up the rankings as well. Then we've got Drake London in Atlanta. Looks like Michael Penix Jr. is going to be out for the rest of the year. That could hurt his stock a little bit, but I don't think Kirk Cousins is a slouch at throwing the football either. Drake London, very, very phenomenal wide receiver, elite high point red zone guy. I'm excited to see what Cousins does with him down the stretch. We all know that Cousins had a great connection with Justin Jefferson in Minnesota, so let's see what he does with Drake London as he gets this opportunity for the rest of the season. So that's Drake London at 19. Then we've got one of the biggest rising stars in Dynasty, and some would even argue that this is an underplacement, and that's Emeka Egbuka at the 20 spot. Big surprise this year. We all knew he was great, but we didn't know he would be this great this quick. Similar to Jackson Smith-Njigba, he comes out of Ohio State, similar play style, goes into a loaded wide receiver room with Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, Mike Evans, all guys who contributed and were productive last year. I thought it was an interesting pick for Tampa, but it has really paid off for them. Emeka Egbuka has proven me wrong. He's proven so many guys wrong, and it's just so much fun to watch him play and reach his full potential, because that's what it seems like he's doing. So that's Emeka Egbuka at 20. And right behind him, we've got his teammate, Bucky Irving out of Oregon, the young running back. Elite draft steal in 2024 for many players. Bucky Irving there at the 21 spot. And they've got a great core, great young core behind Baker Mayfield there. Then we've got Ashton Genty at number 22. I still think this is another guy. Let him play, and he's going to continue to rise. I've got him at the 22 spot. great back. Let's get him some more support on the O-line. Let's get that offense churning a little bit more. Open things up for the run and pass, and I think we're going to see a lot of production out of Ashton Jeanty. Jalen Hurts at the 23, quarterback. You know, Jalen Hurts, he's that dual threat, but he gets a lot of those push touchdowns, and that's what makes him special. Yes, Saquon has bit into a couple of those, but his late game situations, if they need a score, they're going to go back to old reliable Jalen Hurts. So that can be a +6, +12 boost on any given week, and that makes him extremely, extremely valuable. Then we got Trey McBride at the 24, the second and final tight end in my top 30. Trey McBride has been the best target in the Arizona offense over the past 2 seasons. He's proving that he can be reliable. Even last year when he was balling out, not scoring that many touchdowns, he was putting up a lot of points. So now that he's introduced some touchdown scoring into his repertoire, he's been scoring more points. He's been producing at a high level, and Trey McBride is our number 24 ranked player here. Right below him, we've got Rashee Rice from Kansas City. This is Mahomes' new go-to target. Travis Kelce, of course, he's slowing down a little bit. Rashee Rice is that new go-to trustworthy guy. Short yard routages type situation. Get the ball, make a play. But he also has that deep ball ability as well. He's an elite X to Xavier Worthy's Y. So Rashee Rice I've got here at the 25 spot. Then we've got another Buffalo Bill, James Cook, running back. Old reliable. I mean, it doesn't get more reliable than this. He does what you need on the ground. He's going to score a touchdown probably every game, if not every other game. Led the league in touchdowns, I believe, last season, and he's also utilized in the receiving game a fair amount. So James Cook, we've got here at the 26 spot. Then another guy, 27, Kyren Williams out of Los Angeles. Phenomenal back. Phenomenal back. Bruiser. He's going to get you those hard yards that Matthew Stafford might not want to pick up on the ground himself. He doesn't scramble that much. We all know that. So he really brings a great dynamic to Matthew Stafford's arm on the ground. Kyren Williams, always in the end zone, always putting up big numbers. We've got him here at 27. Staying in Los Angeles, we've got Justin Herbert, our final quarterback on the tier list. He slowed down a little bit, started the season real hot. I really like Justin Herbert. He's a great pro-style quarterback, and I could definitely see him climbing the rankings as well. Another guy who could be climbing the rankings is who's in our 29 spot, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr., one of the best wide receiver prospects of all time, has all the hype in the world, all the tools. He just needs to be able to put everything together, and that might be a quarterback thing, that might be a scheme thing, but potential alone is what really wants, what brought me to putting Marvin Harrison Jr. in this top 29. Even though you could make an argument that other guys deserve to be in front of him, I think if the right situation presents itself, he's a top 3 dynasty wide receiver in fantasy football. And then our final guy in the tier list is wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan out of Carolina for the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young has been picking it up, and because of that, Tetairoa McMillan is also going to see a rise in production. Tetairoa McMillan has been playing great as a rookie, and he's going to be that true number 1 target for Bryce Young over the next couple of years in that Dave Canales offense. So a lot of high promise, and he's already produced at a high rate as a rookie. So Tetairoa McMillan rounds out the top 30. Once again, this is my top 30 on Friday, November 21st. This was so difficult to put together, but it was a great time. I really enjoyed making these videos throughout the semester. It's really helped my on-camera presence. You can tell from the start to the end. I've been on camera a lot working in the J School and things, but it's not that easy to sit down and talk to a camera like you're talking to somebody, knowing that you're never going to get a response. So, I mean, just looking back at my first video that I made to this video here, my confidence is through the roof speaking solo to a camera like this than what it was compared to when I first started. So very thankful for this experience. This class was a really fun time. And this is honestly something that I think I'm going to continue to do. I think I'm going to keep using this channel potentially for some Timberwolves stuff, some Vikings stuff, but also just to discuss fantasy football, NFL football, dynasty football as I see it. So content creation in sports was a great experience, and it's motivated me to kind of take it and do something more with it. So you're going to be still seeing more posts from the Gusty Sports channel. But yeah, today was like the big one that I've been working towards, the top 30. So that's all I got for today, and we will see you guys soon. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.